Once your Tyler's back with Retro Reviews here on Tyler's Retro Reviews with TNA Victory Road 2006. Not 2011. We're not doing that one again. That's a thing in the past. Thank God. Yeah, this was a. It was a kind of a weak pay-per-view. I gotta be honest. Yeah, July 16th at the Impact Center in Orlando, Florida. So, 4th of July is coming up and all that. On here on the retro video, you're seeing this video. I do Destination X, TNA Destination X 2011 for the Lloyd to 1999, and the two center I chose are 93 and 94. So there you go. Okay. So we got caught up with having a Slammiversary. So at that event, Jarrett won the world title, and Mike Hay, flips the fuck out and says the worst that we hate to hear more than anything in the English language, but and all that. And then Cornette basically says, "You're the champion for now, but we don't know how that reigns ends at Victory Road or Bound for Glory." My bad. Earl Hebner got fired from that whole thing because of what happened at his anniversary and all that. But he gets his job back some later. But yeah. Anyways, let's get into this whole pay-per-view, really. Also, there's a fatal four-way match between Sting, Samoa Joe, Scott Steiner, and Christian Cage. The winner of that will face Jarrett at the next pay-per-view Hard Justice. And I wonder who's going to win that. So, anyways, we started with the Naturals defeating Eel Skipper and the Master of the Capture Slam David Young. Oh, another Marky D reference to all you watch his stuff. This was just their tag match. It was there. Yeah, there was whatever. It was a 5 out of 10. I'll give it. Anyways, next up is Monty Brown and Rhino wins with no contest and all that. Now, this is right after WWE launched ECW, and Rhino cut this skating promo where he has a sack, which apparently is meant for the actual ECW title, but I think it's still in his home, basically. And he says to Vince McMahon, "You could kiss his ass and my ass and all that." And he said, "Death ECW and long live TNA and all that." But yeah, Ron was like given an opportunity, but the less that we say about the ECW zombie appearance, yeah, knowing why he didn't want to take part of it. And honestly, good for him. And yeah, he did came back, like, and all that, but still. And he's fighting Monty Brown here. This doesn't end with a victory with either man. Monty Brown was on his way out also, by the way. So, yeah. It was just a segment more in the match. There's a ref bump twice, and that was it. Then we get LAX defeating Sanjay Dutt and Ron Killings. This was a fine tag match. Ron Killings was in the main event last month, Perry's Slammiversary, and now here he's just not in the main event scene again. And all that. I guess a continuation of what happened with the Four Life Crew disbanding and all that. But then again, that wasn't really much of a thing, anymore. LAX would go for the feud with the tag team championships and all that. So it was a fine match. She got a 6 out of 10. Anyways, next was for the X Division Championship. Senshi, who won the title like some point before this because of Scott Steiner screwing over Samoa Joe in a triple threat match and all that. He faces a mystery opponent, which should be Kazarian and all that. Senshi won and retained. It was a good X Division title match, so there's that. That's 7.5. It was not one of the better X Division matches. It was kind of a weaker one. Anyways, next up is a hair versus hair match. Raven defeats Larry Zbyszko, which was... Raven did defeat Larry Zbyszko, and finally this fucking feud is over with. It started at June or May of 05 to here at Victory Road. Yeah. And it's just even the hair versus hair match, and Zbyszko's gonna lose and get his head shaven. He did. Raymond cuts the hair off. Even referee Slick Johnson did that too, and he gets kicking the family jewels and all that, which is kind of funny. Still, a 5.5 out of 10. This whole thing was fucking stupid. The feud, that is. Yeah. And then we got an X Division tag team match. It was just a regular tag team match, really. Chris Sabin and Jay Lethal defeats Kevin Nash and Alex Shelley of the Paparazzi. This is like around the time where Nash started his whole Paparazzi thing, which was, let's face it, we got Black Machismo Jay Lethal and the Morrison Machine Guns out of that. So, yeah, thank you, Kevin Nash, for that. In a positive light, that is. And yeah, Kristen and Jay Lee for one, and that was mostly it for the whole mini feud. All that. It was okay. It was actually a good match. I give it a 7 out of 10. That was all I have to say. Then we got a 6-man tag match with no rules, really. JT and Abyss defeats Team 3D. That's Brother Ray, Brother Diva, and Brother Runt. And poor Spike Dudley getting fucked over by Abyss in this whole thing. This is, I guess, the end of the Team 3D JT feud also. Well, it started the Abyss Brother Runt feud, which, yeah, Abyss beat the fucking shit out of Runt. They did the ECW spot where, they grabbed Spike Dudley. Spike Dudley, oh my god. Well, yeah, and he was serving the crowd like that. It was reminiscent of ECW and all that. And into the Abyss, Black Hole Slim and Brother Run through a table, which, this was also a no rules match also, so it was fun for all that crazy shit. Oh, jeez. Yeah, 7.8 out of 10, I'll give it. Anyways, next up is a mixed tag match for the tag team championships. H.E.W. Christopher Daniels and Sarita or something like that defeats America's Most Wanted Yellow Cam. It was actually okay. a good. It was a good match, but this would be the beginning of the end of America's Most Wanted and all that. AJ and Daniels go out for a few at LAX and all that. And that's basically all I have to say, really. 7 out of 10 I'll give it. Then they may have been a Road to Victory Fatal 4-Way match, really. They call it a Road to Victory match for some reason, and yeah, it's just a regular Fatal 4-Way. I don't get it. To determine the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, Sting defeats Christian Cage, Samoa Joe, and Scott Steiner. Unfortunately, Scott Steiner had to be the one to eat the pinfall. And yeah, Jarrett got involved in with it, which was kind of ironic. He hit Sting with gasoline or something like that, and then he was taking out the rest of the match. And I was like, yeah, Sting's coming to be here at the end of the match, and he did. There was a funny spot where Scott Steiner was he was doing the spot on the stairs, and Christian, like, I guess, glitched out in the whole thing, and his head hit the apron, and Scott Steiner's like, get over here, and all that. At the end, Sting came in, and he pinned Scott Steiner to win and becomes the number one contender. And we'll see that when I did Hard Justice 2006. And we all know Christian turns heel in that match. Spoiler. I didn't talk about it in my main show, but again, this is like a revisit of it. Yeah, 10 will give the main event, but still. This is just a mediocre pay-per-view. I'll give a 6 out of 10. Or a 6.5. Not one of the best shows in 2006, unfortunately. But like I said, next week this TNA Destination X 2011, where it says Forward to the Past, which is, ring break of this excited reign for one night only. Let's just hope it will be a good pay-per-view. Destination X always delivered, but still. So it's might even be tomorrow, and then Saturday on 4th of July. I don't know why I'm doing this WCW NWO World Tour. And that's it. Like this video, comment below, subscribe to this channel, and click the notification bell, also, and there. Goodbye.